Hey guys, Nikki Wood here. How's everyone doing today? I wanted to do this really quick video for you guys on cleansing crystals because crystals are items that so many of us have, whether you're in the spiritual community or not, and they are really great tools not only for protection and for healing and for manifesting things that you want, but some people use them even, just as decor as well because they are so beautiful. So how do you know when you need to clean these things, right? Because, a lot of people don't really consider that this is a tool that you also need to take care of. So if they need to be cleaned, here's how you're going to know. If it's not something that's cleaned regularly, the stone will usually tell you that it needs help. If you have something like a pendulum that's a gem or a stone on the end and it's not working properly, it probably needs to be cleaned. It's full. There's too much stuff going on. Like if it's not swinging the right way normally or it's very confusing. Sometimes too, like I have a nice rose quartz pendant on right here, and this actually makes me feel very calm and kind of peaceful. And when I start feeling more agitated or my emotions start going up and down, I'm like, this thing's probably kind of full. So you can kind of tell by things like that. Another thing too is if you have stones to protect your home and you feel like weird energies coming in, those stones are probably full and you're probably going to want to clean them out. So how do we do any of this anyway, right? How do you clean your stones? Because there's a million different ways and everyone will tell you something different. So here's some of the easiest basic ways that you can use to clean your stones at home so they continue to work properly for you, of course. So the first easiest, probably most basic way that most people will tell you is that you can cleanse your stones by using, by saging them or using frankincense. And this cleansing process is done by utilizing the smoke that comes off of these two items. So sometimes people will kind of wave a sage wand, kind of over it. If there's a lot of crystals, they'll kind of take their hand and waft the smoke this way. Same with the frankincense, it can be done like that. My personal way that I like to do it, and it's just something that has come about over the years, so do whatever feels good to you, but I will take the stone or the crystal and I will hold it kind of in the smoke. And what will happen when it's very dirty, and this is very unusual, I'll put it in and the smoke will grab around it tightly and it'll flow up, but it'll hug the stone very closely. And once the stone is clean, the smoke kind of releases and it'll flow very gently and gracefully all around the stone. It won't hug it so tightly anymore. So for me, that's my personal sign that I know that the stone is clean and ready to be used again. Another way that people like to cleanse stones is in salt water or in regular water. Some people, I used to go to class with a guy and he was so cute. He would cleanse the stones. He'd give them a bath in like alkaline bath water, and he would just sit there and put it in the water, and let them, kind of for a couple hours, just let them take like a bath in the water. You can use salt water too. You can make your own salt water. If you live close to the ocean, I used to have a friend and she would go and take her stones or her jewelry or gems or whatever, and she would kind of swish them around in the water a little bit in the loose open ocean. Now if you do take some ocean water home with you, please don't pour it down the drain. Please take it back to the source. I just feel like that's the best way to be doing that if you feel like you can't do it actually at the beach. So water is a really great cleansing tool. Water is very neutralizing. Water absorbs all of the energy from things. That's why it's good to take ritual baths. It kind of will absorb all of the negative energy and all the things. It'll kind of take it off of you. And it will do the same with your stones and with your crystals. The other thing that I would say as a precaution, if you do like to give your crystals a bath in any sort of, purified or cleaned or alkaline water or salt water, is that you make sure that your crystals are not water soluble, because some of them are. And I would really hate for you to put your stone in the water and then come back and have it just, break apart on you. Or after doing this process several times, have it continue to fall apart, because we do fall in love with our little stones that are special to us. The next way that you can clean is if you use the dirt, the earth. I have a particular stone that likes to be cleaned in the dirt, and it doesn't need, for me, this one doesn't need to be buried. It just likes the face down, because the face is where all the energy kind of comes out of the stone. It's like a raw stone. So it likes to be put kind of in the earth, and I'll leave it there for 24 hours. You can also bury your stones in the earth also as well. If you don't have a place outside where it's safe where you could leave them, you could get a little flower pot and take some outside dirt and put it in there and just let them, kind of sit in there for a little bit of time, like overnight or whenever you feel like they are clean. They usually, if you're connected to your stones, they'll kind of let you know when they're done, right? So that's another way that you can do that. The next way that you can cleanse your stones is you can cleanse them in the moonlight, which is kind of cool. Now, some of us are lucky enough when it's a full moon or when it's some sort of, anything but the new moon, when there's light, right? So any moon that has light coming off of it, you can cleanse your stones in that. The full moons are usually a little bit better for cleansing because they have more of a stronger, powerful energy, but the other ones work just as well too. So do whatever you can do. I know some people are a little bit more on top of it than others, and that's okay. Your practice is your practice as long as you are cleaning them in a way that feels good to you. Now for me, I have a room where I can actually leave mine out on the windowsill and the moonlight will hit them on the windowsill while I sleep, so I just leave them overnight or for a couple nights, and I feel like it clears the energy and it recharges the crystal again. Another thing that you can do, I mean, you could leave them, some people would leave them in their garden overnight, some people would leave them out on their patio table or on their doorstep. Just be careful though where you leave them. Make sure no one's going to pick them up and take them, because I know some of us do have some pricier, more expensive crystals, and if you're not in a secure place, it's probably best to keep them a little bit more indoors while you're doing your cleansing. I would hate for anyone to lose anything important. But that's another way through the moonlight, and the moonlight will just kind of shine through and cleanse those as well. So that's kind of a really fun one. If you feel like your crystals are talking to you and telling you they need a little moonlight cleansing, that's another way to go. An additional method is some people have sound bowls, the healing bowls, you know, the big bowls, and you can go around the edge and it creates the sound for you. It's not only really good for your body, but it's also very clearing for the crystals as well. If you just kind of hold it near where it can kind of feel the vibration, or go near it with that sound bowl, it will help clean the crystals and that heavy energy out of them so that they continue to work properly for you. The last method that I want to talk about is, it's a little bit controversial. I know a lot of people love it and they use it, and that is sunlight. So a lot of people will put their crystals out in the sun because they feel like the sun, and it is, the sun's great and it's powerful and it feels good when we're out in it, but sometimes crystals are not always made to be in the sun, especially if you're somewhere, you know, like me, I'm out here in Arizona right now and it's hot. And I don't want to put a crystal that I love in 110, 15, 20, 17 degree heat. It's going to murder the crystal. It's not cleansing at that point. Genuinely, I just feel on a personal level that the sunlight really somehow just breaks down kind of the integrity of the crystals and the power of the crystals. That may or may not be true. I just feel like that's what's true for me. So I'm not one that tends to cleanse things in the sunlight. However, I'm not here to tell anyone else how to live their life or how to practice their craft. So if you want to try it, go ahead, but just be aware that that might be something that you might feel if you bring them back indoors. So that's a long list of a lot of different options that you guys have for keeping your equipment clean, which is really important, whether it's crystals or any other magical tools that you're using in order to help you. Actually, there's one more thing before I go. I forgot the most important thing of all. Okay, the last most important thing you can clean crystals with is, get this, other crystals, right? So what other crystals are self-cleaning? There's a few. The most popular ones are citrine and selenite. I have a very large selenite wand too in my house, and this is really good for people who are kind of like cheaters, or they want to, like, they don't have the time, or, you know, they're just not like completely up on a lot of stuff. It's really great. So you can set your jewelry on it. I have a very large wand, it's about this big. You can put your jewelry on it, you can put your other stones on it, you know, put it close to it, and it self-cleans all the other stones that are around them. I have one that I have in my workspace, and it's a black tourmaline, because when I am reading cards and I am doing things, I'm working with people sometimes that are holding on to a lot of very heavy energy, and those stones in particular will fill up very quickly. So what I do is I have a little piece of selenite that I put next to that stone, so whatever that stone's picking up, it's automatically being self-cleaned. It's like being in a constant dishwasher, which is really great. So I know that those stones will always be working for me. So if you want, you could use a pouch and put like a couple self-cleaning crystals in there and put your other crystals in there to clean them. If you want to lay them around another crystal, if you know, whatever it is that you want to do, this is another really great option for you if you don't have a lot of time, or, you know, maybe you're in a place where you can't burn smoke in your apartment because the smoke alarms go off and your landlord gets mad at you. Or maybe, you know, you don't have a garden or any grass or anything outside where you can get some dirt, or you don't feel comfortable leaving your crystals outside. Whatever it is, this is another really great simple option for you to use when you're cleaning out your crystals. Okay, so that's everything. I hope that was really helpful to you guys. If you have any questions or you want to know anything else, please put it down in the DMs and the comments there and let me know. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, and thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day.